This is a 1960 Jade green automatic electric AE80. And as you all know, the automatic electric 80 was first introduced in 1954 and was produced up until 1975. So this one is Jade green, and the AE80, of course, was the first model made by Automatic Electric. It was its first modern plastic telephone. So you can see it's a bit two-toned here. The bezel is the original color here, but the housing has discolored over time. So it's a bit more of a darker green on the outside. It's a different shade of green than moss green is found on Western electric telephones. I would say it's a bit more, if you were to look at it closely, it's a bit more bluish green than a green. Then you can see it has the early type dial on these telephones. And it also has the chrome finished plungers. And it only has the AE Automatic Electric logo by itself here on the cradle. The later models would have everything as the North Lake, Illinois, and all that. So this phone was produced in North Lake, Illinois. They used to be in Chicago before that, but this is when they were in North Lake. So you can see it's very, very messy, and it has a sticker here. I think this is maybe mold or something, but it'll be easily cleaned off. It's not going to be too difficult to do. This is a fire or emergency sticker on the handset. Let me show you around. So this telephone, if you all know from my phone collectors across the pond, you all know that the GPO 706 looks very similar to an Automatic Electric 80. And there was a bit of a legal battle between Automatic Electric and, of course, the GPO with design similarities. The early 706s, before they were modernized, had the alphanumeric bezel with the chevrons in the holes under the dial finger wheel. And they also had what the Automatic Electric 80 here has what Automatic Electric called a walking cradle, and it was supposed to help if you missed, it would slide back into place. So I have a 706. I have my Concord Blue here. Now it doesn't have the early type of dial, but it has a similar type of cradle here. It's rounded. So if I hold it up next to it, you can see the similarities. The dials don't look the same, but the cradles do. They have that curved look on them with the seam in the middle. So that's what they that's what Automatic Electric was a bit upset about when the 706 was introduced. The 706 was introduced in 1959, if I'm correct. And they were the Automatic Electrics. These were 1954. So the 706 came after. But the dial here is going to need an overhaul, of course. And let me fix it back here. And I think there might be an original number card here on the back. 419 is an Ohio area code. This phone did come out of Ohio. So look at the handset again. The early models didn't have the hole in the center. Same thing with the transmitter cap, or the receiver cap here. Here's this side. I didn't show you that side. And then the back. There is a little crack here. But that's pretty much it as far as damage. It's no biggie. Paint specs as well. Now let me show you the bottom of the phone. This phone has a frequency ringer. It has a large clapper, so I might be able to get it ringing if it has the right type of capacitor in there. Just need to loosen up the clapper a bit and it should ring. And it's got the earlier feet. And the reason why I can tell is it's also a frequency ringer is that it doesn't have the little wheel to adjust. And you can see behind the grill here the large clapper, the hammer, and then the early feet. It's got a one of those clear cords that has the spade tips on the end. You can see them over there. I'm gonna keep it for this telephone. It's not worth trying to search around for a matching color. And it's one less thing I have to spend money on. So yeah, so this is the Jade Green. I've been actually looking for a Jade Green AE80 for a while, so it was nice to see one pop up on eBay. It was a brand new listing as well. So now, instead of posting pictures on the end of the video, I'm going to open up the phone and we will take a look on the inside. So let me go get the screwdriver and we will be right. So now I got the cover off the telephone. There was something shaking around in the telephone as I flipped it over, and it looks like we got a loose screw. It's a bent loose screw, and I'm not sure where it came from in the phone, but I guess we'll find out once I start working on it. You can see the dial bezel here is riddled with mold. Very common for these, I'm guessing this might be a T-Nite house, I guess a T-Nite thermoplastic for the bezel. If they're in a moist environment, one characteristic of the deterioration of thermoplastic is, of course, moisture. And it tends to hold moisture as it starts to deteriorate, and that's what causes the mold. So I'm going to have to dip this in some bleach water to kill the mold so it doesn't grow back. Very common for these, especially in Western Electric 302s, early 500s with the thermoplastic. And they always seem to happen around the dial. So here's the other side of the phone. You can see the clapper here is absolutely humongous. And it even, still moves around. It's ginormous. That's cool. So if I loosen it up, it should ring. And you can see it's let's see. We've got 0.7 MF. I'll just loosen it temporarily when I demonstrate the phone, and then I'll tighten it back up. But yeah, let me take the dial off for you. So let me pause right here. These dials are mounted on a spring here, and they have a notch that holds them in place without having to mount them on screws, so you can easily take them apart. And this phone also has the potted network. The later ones had the printed circuit board. There's the switch. This can be held down as you're if you're testing the phone or working on it. You could test the ringer by doing that. It'll hold the it'll hang up the phone. It'll keep it that way without having to put something on it to hold it down. And then you can just release it back. Let me show you the inside of the cover of the phone. It has a wiring diagram. Feel free to pause this if you need to. And that's what the color of the housing is on the inside. So yeah. This is how you put them back on. So you place it on here, just push down slightly, and then it goes back in. So, yeah. And I'll even put the cover back on here. Okay. So that's the first look of this 1960 Jade Green automatic electric rotary desk telephone. And once I get this phone, worked on, we'll find out if this has an original number card on the underside of this, because it's a stick-on. So if it's a pretty decent one, I will keep it on this telephone. I won't replace it with a blank. It's nice to keep the ones with the original numbers on it. So that's all for this video. I do have a few more projects that I'm working on, so expect those videos to come. Probably not within this coming week, but maybe within the next month sometime. I'm pretty busy right now, and I'm kind of working on these ever so gradually, but I'm kind of on home stretch with the burled walnut Uniphone, and I have just finished the black Uniphone. I already posted that video of the first look of it, so expect those videos. I just got to put a line cord on that one, and I'll be able to do a video on that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.